Chapter 62, Part 1 of The Golden Bough. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Golden Bough by Sir James Frazer. Chapter 62, Part 1. The Fire Festivals of Europe. Section 1. The Fire Festivals in General. All over Europe, the peasants have been accustomed from time immemorial to kindle bonfires on certain days of the year, and to dance round or leap over them. Customs of this kind can be traced back on historical evidence to the Middle Ages, and their analogy to similar customs observed in antiquity goes with strong internal evidence to prove that their origin must be sought in a period long prior to the spread of Christianity. Indeed, the earliest proof of their observance in northern Europe is furnished by the attempts made by Christian synods in the 8th century to put them down as heathenish rites. Not uncommonly, effigies are burned in these fires, or a pretense is made of burning a living person in them, and there are grounds for believing that anciently human beings were actually burned on these occasions. A brief view of the customs in question will bring out the traces of human sacrifice and will serve at the same time to throw light on their meaning. The seasons of the year when the bonfires are most commonly lit are spring and midsummer, but in some places they are kindled also at the end of autumn or during the course of the winter, particularly on Halloween or the 31st of October, Christmas Day, and the eve of Twelfth Day. Space forbids me to describe all these festivals at length. A few specimens must serve to illustrate their general character. We shall begin with the fire festivals of spring, which usually fall on the first Sunday of Lent, that is, Quadragesima or Invocavit, Easter Eve, and May Day. Section 2. The Lenten Fires. The custom of kindling bonfires on the first Sunday in Lent has prevailed in Belgium, the north of France, and many parts of Germany. Thus, in the Belgian Ardennes, for a week or a fortnight before the Day of the Great Fire, as it is called, children go about from farm to farm collecting fuel. At Grand Helleu, anyone who refuses their request is pursued next day by the children, who try to blacken his face with the ashes of the extinct fire. When the day has come, they cut down bushes, especially juniper and broom, and in the evening great bonfires blaze on all the heights. It is a common saying that 7 bonfires should be seen if the village is to be safe from conflagrations. If the Meuse happens to be frozen hard at the time, bonfires are lit also on the ice. At Grand Helleu they set up a pole called Macral, or the Witch, in the midst of the pile, and the fire is kindled by the man who was last married in the village. In the neighbourhood of Morlanwelz, a straw man is burnt in the fire. Young people and children dance and sing round the bonfires, and leap over the embers to secure good crops or a happy marriage within the year, or as a means of guarding themselves against colic. In Brabant, on the same Sunday, down to the beginning of the 19th century, women and men disguised in female attire used to go with burning torches to the fields, where they danced and sang comic songs for the purpose, as they alleged, of driving away the wicked sower who was mentioned in the Gospel for the day. At Pâturges, in the province of Hainaut, down to about 1840, the custom was observed under the name of Escobion or Scobion. Every year on the first Sunday in Lent, which was called the Day of the Little Scobion, young folks and children used to run with lighted torches through the gardens and orchards. As they ran, they cried at the pitch of their voices, "Bear apples, bear pears, and cherries all black, to Scobion." At these words, the torch-bearer whirled his blazing brand and hurled it among the branches of the apple trees, the pear trees, and the cherry trees. The next Sunday was called the Day of the Great Scobion, and the same race with lighted torches among the trees of the orchards was repeated in the afternoon till darkness fell. In the French department of the Ardennes, the whole village used to dance and sing around the bonfires, which were lighted on the first Sunday in Lent. Here, too, it was the person last married, sometimes a man and sometimes a woman, who put the match to the fire. The custom is still kept up very commonly in the district. Cats used to be burnt in the fire, or roasted to death by being held over it, and while they were burning, the shepherds drove their flocks through the smoke and flames as a sure means of guarding them against sickness and witchcraft. In some communes, it was believed that the livelier the dance round the fire, the better would be the crops that year. In the French province of Franche-Comté, to the west of the Jura Mountains, the first Sunday in Lent is known as the Sunday of the Firebrands, on account of the fires which it is customary to kindle on that day. On the Saturday or the Sunday, the village lads harness themselves to a cart and drag it about the streets, stopping at the doors of the houses where there are girls and begging for a faggot. When they have got enough, they cart the fuel to a spot at some little distance from the village, pile it up, and set it on fire. All the people of the parish come out to see the bonfire. In some villages, when the bells have rung the Angelus, the signal for the observance is given by cries of "To the fire! To the fire!" Lads, lasses, and children dance round the blaze, and when the flames have died down, they vie with each other in leaping over the red embers. He or she who does so without singeing his or her garments will be married within the year. Young folk also carry lighted torches about the streets or fields, and when they pass an orchard they cry out, "More fruit than leaves!" Down to recent years at La Brionne, in the department of Doubs, it was the young married couple of the year who had charge of the bonfires. In the midst of the bonfire a pole was planted with a wooden figure of a cock fastened to the top. Then there were races, and the winner received the cock as a prize. In Auvergne, fires are everywhere kindled on the evening of the first Sunday in Lent. Every village, every hamlet, even every ward, every isolated farm has its bonfire, or figo as it is called, which blazes up as the shades of night are falling. The fires may be seen flaring on the heights and in the plains. The people dance and sing round about them, and leap through the flames. Then they proceed to the ceremony of the granais. The granomio is a torch of straw fastened to the top of a pole. When the pyre is half consumed, the bystanders kindle the torches at the expiring flames and carry them into the neighbouring orchards, fields, and gardens, wherever there are fruit trees. As they march, they sing at the top of their voices, "Grano, my friend! Grano, my father! Grano, my mother!" Then they pass the burning torches under the branches of every tree, singing, "Brando brandunci, tasque branzo in plan pene." That is, "Firebrand burn, every branch a basketful." In some villages the people also run across the sown fields and shake the ashes of the torches on the ground. Also they put some of the ashes in the fowls' nests, in order that the hens may lay plenty of eggs throughout the year. When all these ceremonies have been performed, everybody goes home and feasts. The special dishes of the evening are fritters and pancakes. Here the application of the fire to the fruit trees, to the sown fields, and to the nests of the poultry is clearly a charm intended to ensure fertility, and the grano, to whom the invocations are addressed, and who gives his name to the torches, may possibly be, as Dr. Pomerol suggests, no other than the ancient Celtic god Granos, whom the Romans identified with Apollo, and whose worship is attested by inscriptions found not only in France, but in Scotland and on the Danube. The custom of carrying lighted torches of straw about the orchards and fields to fertilize them on the first Sunday of Lent seems to have been common in France, whether it was accompanied with the practice of kindling bonfires or not. Thus, in the province of Picardy, "On the first Sunday of Lent, people carried torches through the fields, exorcising the field mice, the darnel, and